Hello and thanks for joining us here at Newsmax TV. I'm John Bachman. Right now we have Tim LaHaye with us. He is the pastor and best-selling author of the Left Behind series, and he has endorsed Newt Gingrich for president. Pastor LaHaye, it's great to talk with you.
Thank you, John. Good to be with you.
Well, why is Newt Gingrich the candidate many evangelicals, including yourself, are backing?
Because he is the sharpest and the clearest person and the greatest candidate with the possibility of unseating Obama, which is an absolute necessity in the next election.
Now, in your opinion, what makes Newt different from Rick Santorum?
Well, because he's different than all the candidates, really, in that he is the clearest thinker, and he has an optimistic viewpoint of America, and his long association with Ronald Reagan has given him that kind of idea that we are a city on a hill, and we have our best years ahead of us instead of our best years behind us. And the melees that we're in right now is caused by government and their socialistic planning.
Well, social conservatives in South Carolina can be a fickle voting bloc. For example, they backed John McCain in 2008, and Gingrich is now neck and neck with Mitt Romney there, though. Do you believe that he will pull out a victory in that state?
Yes, I do, because I was a pastor in South Carolina for 2 years while I was in college, and I got to know the rural people, the real people of South Carolina, and they vote on principle. They stand behind someone who's going to stand for the things that they stand for, and I believe Newt Gingrich best embodies that.
Well, what do you think it means with Rick Perry now dropping out and him backing Newt Gingrich?
Well, I think that's a great plus. And more people will do that, and I think you're going to see Newt rise in the polls as other good, qualified candidates that don't seem to get a track running in their favor will step aside and recommend him. Because then, right now, what you have is one person, which is the most moderate one has the lead, but you have several conservatives that oppose him, and they're dividing the vote.
Now, along those same lines, do you feel like this puts more pressure on Rick Santorum to drop out of the race?
Quite possibly, and I think that he's a very tenacious man, and I think he's got a good role in future government, but not in the White House, because he doesn't seem to gain the stature at this age, at least in his life. He doesn't seem to rally the support of the people that he will need. But I think it would be good for him to endorse Newt Gingrich.
Well, if Newt eventually does win the nomination, how do you feel like he'll do in the general election?
Very well, because most people are sick and tired of the democratic socialist view of government. Big government intruding into our lives, planning everything for us, and they have bungling people that don't know what they're doing. In fact, I think most people are astonished that this president has appointed so many czars that haven't been approved by anyone. He's just like a dictator. He appoints them, and they have the same socialist views that he does, and socialism is bad for America.
Why do you think more Republicans have not already come out and endorsed Newt?
There are so many good candidates. It's hard to choose one above the other. But now, over the period of time, Newt has risen above the fray, and more people are falling at the line and recognizing that he has the experience, the expertise, and the opportunity or the knowledge to make right choices for the future of America.
Let's talk about political advertising a little bit. Do you feel like the ads about Mitt Romney's work at Bain Capital cross the line, or do you feel like they raise important issues?
He took a great advantage and became a multimillionaire through some of the things that he was able to do that have not really been in the best interests of America. But that's part of capitalism.
Well, polls show right now that the economy, of course, is the #1 issue for voters. But do you worry about the economy overshadowing social issues and voters and that having a real impact on this election?
No, they really go together because the values of America, the things that have made America the great nation that it is, and only one of them is the free enterprise system. The others are the moral standards that our founding fathers found in the Bible.
What grade would you give President Obama throughout the first 3 years of his term in the Oval Office?
The man has not kept any of his promises. And that's why I think that this election has a great opportunity for Newt Gingrich, because Obama no longer can talk about hope and change and stars and paint these fancy pictures. He's a great talker, but that's all he is a talker. And he hasn't done any of the promises that he gave, and consequently you have this exposure now to 4 years in office. And when he is held accountable for what he has done, then the voters are going to recognize. I look for a landslide of people, even Democrats, who recognize that this man has been harmful for freedom and for righteousness, for standards in America.
Well, in your opinion, as voters head to the polls this fall, what do you think is the most important issue they could consider or should consider when they make their selection?
There are so many important issues, it's hard to single one above another, but certainly social issues are up at the top, but also big government. We don't need a big government. We have all kinds of local, state, and federal government, and government is not doing its job. Here we have a president that wants to support more entitlements and giving to the poor, and he told people in his first election that he thought that you should take from the haves and give to the have-nots. Well, that's socialism, and he's tried to invoke it. And the sad part of all that is that it is plunging our economy into the pit by overtaxing people and not giving them the money they need to start new business and hire new people and provide more economic opportunities.
Well, Pastor Tim LaHaye, we appreciate you talking with us here at Newsmax today. Have a great day.